Hey you! In today's video I would like to talk about the importance of expressing oneself, and I know that this is very different from the videos that I usually do on this channel, but it is related to BTS, so please bear with me. After seeing that BTS decided to not submit any of their work to the Grammys this year, I was just reminded of what Namjoon has been saying all along, which is speak yourself and speak your truth. And this is something that's very personal to me because of what I'm going through right now. So I think the people who are watching this will probably know that I'm struggling with post-COVID right now, and I have been for almost a year now. And it's really true what they say, that illness changes you and it makes you reflect and go inwards. And so this is one of the topics that I've been thinking about and mulling over for a long time now, especially during being sick. And when I saw what happened with the Grammys, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to just voice my thoughts, to just express myself about the power and the importance of expressing yourself. So for me, when I saw Namjoon speak at the United Nations, and that whole era, the whole love yourself, speak yourself era, the message resonated so much with me. And when I heard him say, speak your truth or speak yourself, which he said quite a lot during that time, it always got me emotional. I always felt myself tear up, and I wasn't sure why it was resonating with me so much and so deeply. But looking back, I think that it must have meant that there's something inside me that wishes to be expressed and it's not happening. And that's why I feel so emotional about Namjoon's message. And I'm not sure how you feel, but I bet a lot of you might feel similar, because expressing oneself is generally not something that is looked upon kindly in society, or is prioritized, should I say. And seeing how BTS has decided not to submit to the Grammys, I am once more reminded of the importance of integrity and of standing up for your values and basically expressing yourself, because that is expression in a form, right? It is standing up for what you believe in, and I'm very proud of them, and it makes me really proud to be supporting them. And it also reminds me of, it gives me some kind of courage and reminds me that expressing oneself is truly incredibly important. And let me get to why I think that is now. I think that if you are not expressing yourself properly or in any kind of form, it will make you sick eventually. I'm not exaggerating. I truly think that if you're not expressing yourself, you will get unsatisfied with your life. You will feel stuck and unhappy. And you will eventually get sick, either mentally or even physically, because I think body and mind and soul are very closely connected. And it's something that I've been experiencing. I don't think that this is the reason that I'm sick right now. I'm not going that far, but it is part of what has held me unsatisfied and stuck for so long, even before I even fell sick, I think. And I think some ways in which you can recognize whether your expression is stuck is you feel it in your throat. Like, not all the time, but it will feel like a lump in your throat. Like it's difficult to swallow, or it feels like there's just a foreign object inside your throat, or you are not being able to breathe freely. You might also feel restricted or feel pressure in your chest. I think that these can be signs of suppressed expression. And when I say expression, I think it's first important to define what does it actually mean to express yourself, right? Express what? What do I even mean with that? What I mean is basically to turn yourself inside out. So to express whatever it is that is inside you. And that could be values or thoughts or interests and hobbies or passions. Whatever it is that wants to be expressed, but you are holding back in expressing it, is your key, I think. Of course, it's more complex than that, but expression is a big part of it. And so the question is, why is it so difficult to express yourself, right? Because it can either be even something like thinking something over in your head over and over again, having thoughts but never expressing them, just never putting them down on paper or never speaking them. It's sometimes as simple as that, and your channel of expression can be anything from the smallest thing like writing down song lyrics or poetry, or even journaling, or expressing yourself through learning a new instrument, through music, through singing, through dancing, through some sort of sports. Like, there are so many channels of expression, and they don't even all have to be creative. It can be simply something like talking, like I'm doing now. I think putting your thoughts into words, whether that is on video or just even aloud to yourself or on paper, that is already a form of expression. And I think a lot of people are held back in their expressions because, well, that's the question, isn't it? Why are so many people suppressing what they are holding inside? And I think that has to do with two things. I think your expression is constantly battling with either shame or fear. So what I mean by that is, you might hold something inside yourself that you feel passionate about, or something you feel strongly about. Maybe that's a value or a thought or a hobby. But somewhere inside yourself you have internalized shame, which obviously has to do with societal expectations. So the expectation that you believe are being placed upon you. What it means to be normal. And if expressing yourself means moving outside of the realm of what society considers normal, there's a considerably risk involved in it. And there is shame holding you back, because you might feel ashamed of what you're thinking, or you might feel ashamed of your living situation. You might be ashamed of your education or your job or your hobbies or your passion, what you feel passionate about. And that's why you are holding yourself back from expressing it. And when I say expressing it, like for example, we can take BTS as an example, right? So I'm sure that all of you see BTS as a great source of joy and comfort, and it's a big part of your life, something that adds to your life. But at the same time, we all know that there are people that don't get it. People like friends or colleagues or strangers or whoever that might be. And so even if you find yourself defending your love for BTS when talking to a colleague or to a friend, I think that is already a restriction in your expression. Because you're not being true to who you are. You are rejecting what you are feeling inside. You are ashamed of what you're feeling inside. Whenever you are defending something in conversation with someone else, it means that you hold internalized shame about that thing. And there was this one conversation that I remember very vividly. I was on the phone with my friend and I was talking about my plans to go to Seoul to do a language course and to do some K-pop classes in the afternoon. I was feeling very excited about it because I feel passionate about it. I ended up not being able to do it because I fell ill with COVID, but at the time I was very excited about it, and I could feel and hear the second-hand embarrassment from that friend through the phone, and it made me feel ashamed, and it made me defend myself. I was playing it down. I was saying, I thought it might just be, a cool opportunity, and I might as well, and, could check it out, and just because, I have a lot of freedom now, and now's the time to try these things, and you don't need to do all of that. You never need to defend yourself, because after that conversation, I felt very dissatisfied and very hurt, and I didn't know why. I first thought it was the reaction of my friend, which, yes, that was hurtful, but what was even more hurtful was that I realized that I had abandoned myself. Understand that every time that you are defending your expression, that you are defending your values or your passion to somebody, that you're playing it down, it means that you are abandoning what is at your core. Whether you want to call that your heart or your soul or your light or your inner child, I don't know, I don't care what you want to call it. But it is important that you don't reject that part of yourself, that you embrace it, and that you are accepting of it. You don't need to defend yourself. You can simply stand up for what you love and express yourself. And that's one thing that I learned and that I want to live by now. So that's shame, right? Shame might be holding you back. And then the second thing that might be holding you back is fear. There's always fear. There's, the easy way and the right way. And the right way has a lot to do with fear. And fear can come from internalized beliefs that you're holding. So for example, you might think that if I express myself, I am vulnerable. If I am vulnerable, I will get hurt. Or whenever I am vulnerable, I get rejected. Or that can even go further. If I get rejected, that means I'm all by myself. That means that I am isolated and alone and ultimately unlovable. This is just an example. You have all of these internalized beliefs in yourself that are holding you back from expressing yourself because you don't want to be rejected, or you're afraid of how people might perceive you. But the first step that is essential here is to become aware of your fear or your shame, because oftentimes you are not expressing yourself properly, but you don't even know why. You don't know what's holding you back. You're just not expressing yourself properly. So the first step is understanding what's holding you back. Why are you not doing that? Why are you not recording that video? Why are you not writing it down? Why are you not starting to learn a new instrument? Why are you not meeting up with that person? Why are you not trying that new thing? And once you become aware of what the underlying fear is, you can actively challenge that and take some power away from it, because you can say, okay, I might be afraid, but I'm going to do it anyway. And what I feel has really helped me here is to kind of change this perspective of how I'm viewing it. So instead of thinking I'm expressing myself to be heard, think about it differently. I now think I'm expressing myself to express myself. That is the whole purpose of expressing yourself. Expressing yourself isn't about visibility. It's not about being accepted or being rejected, or whether one person listens to you or 100 people or nobody. It's purely for the sake of turning yourself inside out and displaying what is on the inside to the outside, not holding it in. Because if you are holding it in, it will make you sick. I'm repeating myself, but that is my experience, and I truly believe that there is some truth to it. So, express yourself, like Namjoon said. It has really stuck with me all these times, all these years. Speak your truth and express yourself, speak yourself, no matter whether that's your values or your passion or your interest. And let yourself be led by that, because that is who you are at your core. And hi, I was just visited by a horse. I understand that you're afraid of expressing yourself. I am afraid of expressing myself. But it's not about being seen or about being heard. It's about just expressing yourself, doing it for your own sake. Because I believe that if we are all expressing what is on the inside, that's the way how we can all shine our unique individual light on this world. Not by trying harder, or by putting in more effort, or by working harder, or fulfilling societal expectations like earning a lot of money or getting married and having children. And I'm not saying all of that is bad. I'm just saying follow whatever you feel is true for yourself. And if that is in line with societal expectations or in line with what society thinks is normal, wonderful, then do that. But don't do it because society dictates it. Do it because you are following your own inner guidance. And that inner guidance is your values and your passion. And I think one last essential thing is that you don't do it with any expectation for the outcome. So don't write the book to be published. Write the book to write the book. Don't take the dance class to compete in a competition. Take the dance class because you want to learn the choreography and you want to have fun. Don't record the video so that 10,000 people are watching it. Record the video because you want to voice the thoughts that keep circling in your head. Do something for the sake of doing something without any expectation of what the outcome might be. And that, I believe, is how you truly speak yourself, how you express yourself, and how you can add value to this world by shining your unique individual light on it. So this has been very different, a very different kind of video, but going through post-COVID these past 11 months has made me reflect on a lot of things, and it has changed me. And BTS has always been and still is part of what is changing me, because it resonates with something deep inside me, and so it is part of my expression. And I think that goes for a lot of you guys who are watching this too. So, don't be afraid to express yourself, whatever it might be, and just try it out. Do it out for the sake of expressing. Okay? Lots of love to you all, and take care until next time. Bye.